So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about sales. And the reason why I'm going to be talking about that is because there isn't much transparency into how to really develop financially as a Christian man. And the Bible calls us as men to be providers, to be leaders, to have integrity, and to be great fathers, great husbands, and great men. But specifically in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the financial aspect of it. And obviously, the Bible says not to lust over anything, but the importance of a financial well-being, a good financial well-being in today's day and age is so important, because I want to read these numbers off right here, right? So the first thing to kick this off, so CNBC in 2023 came out with a budget breakdown of a couple that makes $500,000 a year. And before I get into that, the first thing that I want to say is that financial hardship is one of the leading causes of divorce. And again, the Bible talks about it. As men, we need to be able to provide. And this is the breakdown of a budget for a couple that makes $500,000 a year with 2 kids, right? So let's just break it down. 401k contribution to the wife, right? We're starting again with $500,000. So 401k contribution maxed out is $18K for the wife, $18K for the husband. Salary after 401k contribution, we're at $464. Now we go down to 40% effective tax rate, right? Which breaks this down to, it deducts $185. So $185,600 is deducted off of that $464 in earnings. That leaves you with $278,400 as your net salary. And now we get into expenses. And again, this is based on 2 children. So childcare, the average cost of childcare across the year, they're saying is $42,000. Food for 4. So this includes date nights every 2 weeks. So again, living pretty frugally, $23,000 is what they're saying the average is. So a mortgage, average mortgage is going to be $60,000 across the year, so another $5,000 a month. Home maintenance is going to be $5,000 for the year. Property taxes, they're calling it a $1.5 million home, and they're estimating about $20,000 in property taxes. For property insurance, we're at $2,500 to take 3 vacations a year, which seems a little bit much to me, but they're at $18,000. So even if you call it $10,000 to $18,000 over a vacation, up to 3 vacations a year. Car payment, and they're looking at a BMW 5 Series and a Toyota Land Cruiser. Your car payments with that would be about $9,600. Gas for the year would be about $5,000. Car insurance, we're looking at two grand. Life insurance on a $3 million term is another $2,500. If we look at clothes for 4 people, saying, and it's excluding fancy bags, shoes, or anything else, $9,500. Children's lessons, so sports, if they play any instruments, school, etc., any extracurriculars, you're looking at about $12,000 for the year. Charity, if you support charity, and again, we're supposed to give 10% to the church, right? We're looking at, what does it say here? It says $18,000 for the year. Undergrad and graduate student loan debt, right? So you have that for 10 to 20 years. They're saying average is $32,000 for the year. And then miscellaneous, something will always come up. They're saying another $10,000. So that value adds up to $271,100. So if you deduct that from $278,400, you're left with $7,300 in net savings for the year. That's based on a $500,000 salary, and these expenses are the average for just only having 2 kids. So the importance of talking about this is more important now than ever. So I'll kick things off into gear with what it says in the Bible here. So with 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8, it says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. And the reason why I want to start off for Christian men making less than $150,000 a year is because I'll talk on my story. When I first graduated in 2019, I thought it would be the craziest thing to make 6 figures. That first year out of school, I made 6 figures, and that next year, I quadrupled that number. And it was all due to sales. And I came out of school not really knowing what I wanted to do. And again, this is a video that may be geared to someone early in their career, or that's in their career, but they don't really know what their next step is. I would recommend looking into any type of high ticket sales. What is high ticket sales? So software sales, that's what I'm in. You can get into real estate. You can get into, some type of tech sales where you're selling B2B, and occasionally, I guess you can say B2C, which is like real estate. But it has to be high ticket. So maybe you start off selling cars. I just bought another car. I bought myself a car upgraded last week, and I was talking to one of the finance managers. He said that the finance manager at the Ferrari dealership makes anywhere from $800,000 to $1.2 million a year. Not saying that's where you're going to start, but maybe you're in high school, or maybe you're in college, you're taking college classes. Go walk into a car dealership, introduce yourself, and say that you want to get into car sales. Because the progression could be the following. You start off in car sales, you work your way up to a finance manager, and if it's a big enough dealership, you can work your way up to the next level, work your way up to corporate, and make yourself a nice living anywhere from, at this Ferrari dealership over here, $800,000 to $1.2 million a year. So it's pretty substantial numbers that we're talking, and all it takes is a little bit of action. And the action that I want to talk about specifically in this video is for software sales. So what my progression was when I graduated was that, I had no idea really what I wanted to do. I started sending emails out. I started, sending applications out. Nothing was really working. I set up a number of interviews. I did terrible. I was horrible on my interviews because I didn't know, what strengths I brought to the table. And a takeaway for you all that I want to leave you with is that you should, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to share any advice and give you any feedback that I think can be helpful for you in your process. But getting back to what I did and what could be actionable advice for you to get to that six-figure number and beyond is that you got to create a LinkedIn. Again, this is specific to software sales. Create a profile and create a story where you can sell yourself. So maybe while you were in college, you were a waiter, or maybe you were in theater, or whatever it was. If you were an athlete like me, you can always find a way to create a story and sell yourself to a future employer on the reason why they should take a chance on you. Again, I graduated with no sales experience. My first year I made six figures. My second year I quadrupled that. So what did I do? I started sending out a number of emails to all the companies that I was applying to. Specifically, Thomson Reuters, that's the company that I work at now, had horrible interviews. They were asking about the sales process, what I'm going to do to build pipeline. I had no idea what any of that meant, but I did realize, obviously, that I didn't do great on these interviews, but I needed a job. I graduated in May. I was working demolition, and basically any job, any labor job that I could to bring some money in. I was doing training on the side. I was doing all these little side gigs to try and bring some money in, but I knew I needed a job. I graduated in May, and it wasn't until November 1st of 2019 when I started at Thomson Reuters. So there was a pretty big gap of me reaching out and a lot of failure in between. But the point that I want to make is that I was persistent, and I followed up very thoroughly. And in those emails to them, I didn't talk much about the sales process, but I talked about the story that I had developed for myself. So going through the recruiting process, I was an undersized guy. I was always doing the extra. And I found an article online that spoke about college athletes doing well in sales and becoming high achievers and overperformers. And I took away 3 bullet points. I sent a number of follow-up emails to the hiring managers at that point in time. And it took about a month or so to even hear back from them. I thought it was dead. And I followed up probably 2 or 3 times on top of that email. They finally got back to me and gave me an opportunity. So the takeaway on this video is to create a LinkedIn, create a story for yourself, create a resume. Again, even if you don't have any experience, find a way to create a story, put it in the objective on the top of your resume. That's what I did. I spoke about coming from a very highly aggressive and competitive sports background where I can leverage the traits that I developed as a Division I college athlete to succeed in life after sports. Something along the lines of that. And you can do the same with really anything. Any trait that you picked up over that persistent effort and hard work that you put in whatever area in life that it was prior to getting into sales, you got to use that and create and develop a story. And then not only send those applications out on LinkedIn, but start to find who the VPs are, who the directors are, who the guys that are actually selling are. Connect with them on LinkedIn, send messages, introduce yourself. Try and see if their emails are publicly available online. You can do a lot of Google searching. That's what I did initially, to try and find who it was that I needed to get in contact to get my name in front of them. And so that's really the main point that I want you guys to take away from this video, is that you should really focus in on trying to get a sales role, software sales or any high ticket sales role. Create and develop a story that is unique to you, but that shows that you have a way of being persistent and working hard and not shying away from rejection, so that you can become the man, the provider, the husband, the father that the Bible wants us to be. Again, if you have any questions, want any help, please make sure to reach out. I'd be more than happy to try and help you the best way that I can. What I did, again, I went on LinkedIn, I typed in account executive, BDR, SDR, sales exec, and I applied everywhere. And then I found the hiring manager, I found the VPs, the directors, the sales guys. I would send them notes on LinkedIn, introducing myself, asking them if they can make introductions, asking them if they had 5 minutes to jump on a phone. You gotta be willing to do the extra. Be willing to do the things that other people aren't, so that you can get to areas in life that other people aren't as well. And again, this isn't a lust over money thing, but you can see that in life, the breakdown of how fast money goes out versus how slow it comes in, it's pretty crazy and eye-opening. So hope you guys found value in this. I'm going to continue talking more about sales and what I do and how to try and elevate, and the things outside of sales that I'm doing to try and build my net worth, build my network, and be around the right people and continue to be a leader in the right ways. Hope you guys find value in this video. If you do, please make sure to subscribe and share, turn on the notifications, reach out with questions. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the time.